Why should you care? It's more important than ever for you to start caring about what's happening micro and macroeconomically. And why are the elites storing Bitcoin and gold? And why are countries feverishly working to stack gold? Because there's a monetary shift happening right now. They the normal everyday public has no idea. We're moving from an inflationary fiat system that is broken where the top three countries, specifically the top two, America and China, are buried in debt. We're in an actual monetary reset. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is if you spend 20 minutes to an hour a day studying this at a deep level and simply understanding inflationary, which is a US dollar fiat system, where you become poor every single year if you don't beat inflation, and we're moving to a deflationary system. Maybe you're a gold person or precious metals. I'm a Bitcoin and crypto guy. Okay. I believe in the digital gold Bitcoin, and I believe in things like XRP. I believe in things like Solana. I understand the infrastructural change that's happening, and I put my money where my mouth is. And by doing that, we became millionaire investors in this asset class, but we were very strategic and very smart with this. Okay. We took our profits from 2020 to 2022 and we built $1 million ecosystems outside. And what I'm here to tell you is you have that opportunity now. As everybody's running from crypto because it's sideways, they're not understanding that behind the scenes, they don't buy on the same exchanges we do. Study dark pools. Big asset managers are getting ready for the back end of this year. When they lower interest rates and they turn that printing machine back on, guess what they're going to do? They're going to buy more gold. They're going to buy more Bitcoin. And what the public's going to do is because their interest rates are lower, they're going to buy more cars. They're going to buy more houses, more cell phones, and more flat screen TVs because everything is debt. So when you lower the interest rate for the American system where we've been indoctrinated to trade time for money and get paid in someone else's debt, we just monetize more debt. And guess who gets wealthier? The 1%. It's always been the same game. In the Roman days, they had us drunk in the Colosseum. They were clipping our coins, and the first annuity was created in the Roman days. So, what I'm about to show you, maybe you'll start to understand at a deep level why I use Bitcoin as a bank and why I use cash value life insurance as a bank. Cash value life insurance at the bottom of the risk pyramid that keeps my family safe. It's the foundation of our ecosystem. I use these speculative assets like cryptocurrency. When they profit, I pull it and I diversify across different platforms to create stability within our portfolio. And we multiply. Richest man in Babylon. We focus on four things: cash flow, not storing cash, cash flow, appreciation, protection, and leverage. And we repeat the process. So, what I'm about to show you today is something you should be paying attention to. This is from Bravo Research. They have some great stuff on their channel. I just got introduced to their channel. We're going to watch the first part of this. So, the thing that I want you to pay attention to and why you should care is the bond market. Okay. We are in a position right now where America, under Biden's leadership, he weaponized the financial system, right? We're going to show you a video just a little bit down the road, a little bit around how he sanctioned Russia, right? Which pushed Russia like, whoa, wait a minute. They literally shut down Russia off the banking system. Okay. So America can put sanctions on other countries. But remember, other countries hold a ton of treasuries. So what they could do is they could weaponize the bond market on us. So pay attention.
514 billion is higher than any of the forecasts I had seen.
The best approach there would be greater fiscal discipline, which we're not likely to see.
The real risk is in our treasury bonds because the folks that used to buy treasury bonds, the Fed, China, Japan, no longer buying. You've got debt through the roof. I mean, the leverage risk basically shifted from consumers and corporates to the government.
The U.S. Treasury bond market could be on the brink of a complete collapse. This is a $27 trillion financial asset, roughly the same size as the entire U.S. gross domestic product, and the impact that a collapse of this market would have on the economy would be catastrophic. U.S. Treasury bond prices have already fallen by 50% since 2020, which has already reshaped the entire economy and financial system. But as I'm going to show you in this video, we're potentially at risk of seeing another monstrous move down, which could have even deeper economic consequences. So just for some context, unless you've been living under a rock, you might have heard that the current US administration has torn apart every single long-standing trade partnership with foreign governments around the globe. You
This is
probably
important.
also know that these same foreign governments are also holders of US Treasury debt. In fact, foreign ownership represents about 30% of the current outstanding US government debt.
Okay. So 30% outstanding US government debt is held outside the United States. So Trump threw the tariffs on, right? Created a trade war. Biden took Russia off the SWIFT system, weaponizing the US stock market. So just to keep it simple, other countries are done with the American dollar. They're like, listen, we need to figure this out. But also, Trump is also wanting to weaken the dollar. China is wanting to weaken the yuan. They're bringing us onto an even playing field. Trump is not afraid of bringing us into this new system. That's what I'm excited about. Now, we're going to go a little bit further. We're going to start to understand why big asset managers are moving into gold, why big asset managers are moving into Bitcoin.
After watching what happened to Russia's U.S. reserves frozen and seized after their invasion of Ukraine, many other nations looked around and realized we could be next. We are at the mercy of the United States decision-making, and if they no longer want to support our reserves, we could have the rug pulled right out from underneath us. This fear of sanctions, combined with the United States' inability to manage its debt, in fact, the continual printing and devaluing of the dollar, has created a global accelerated push away from dollar-denominated assets, meaning that more countries are seeking out hard, tangible assets that they can trust. This is exactly where Basel III comes into play. After the 2008 financial crisis, regulators realized that banks did not have enough hard, tangible assets to offset all of their risk-taking, which was a shocker to no one except apparently them.
Yep.
Although you would think that the BIS, the Bank for International Settlements, the central bank for central banks, would have somehow noticed this imbalance and this risk-taking, unless, of course, they did notice all along, and it's never been about protecting us. It's only been about protecting themselves and their system once it was threatened. I don't know, but once the cracks were too big to ignore, they needed a way to prepare for a new system. This is where they created Basel I, II, and now III. The whole point was to...
This is important, okay? I want you to go watch the rest of that video, and this is it. You can go on the Bank of International Settlements. This is Basel III, the International Regulatory Framework for Banks. So over the past 4 years, since 2020, the regulations have changed dramatically for holding riskier assets on their portfolio. Okay, they started to already transition us to holding hard assets like gold instead of paper gold, and so their rules and their allocations have changed dramatically, and it's changing towards a gold-backed system. I think it's going to have a combination of gold and Bitcoin. I really believe that. I think that they're going to monetize the assets on the balance sheet. They're going to buy more Bitcoin, because what they could do is they could put Bitcoin on the balance sheet. Okay. Then you monetize a deflationary asset to buy more assets. That's what I do. Okay. I had Bitcoin Bank on this side. I monetized. I borrowed against my Bitcoin Bank that appreciates 50% every year at 14%. I bought a general agency, my own insurance firm. I was with another agency. I bought my own insurance firm, and we'll have that paid back in less than 9 months now. And I took a tax-free loan. I monetized my debt. I bought a cash generating asset, and within 10 more months, I will have a cash generating asset off of tax-free money. They're going to do the same thing because they're buried in debt. Okay, let's go a little bit further into this. Okay.
So why should you care? Well, because all three of the major global superpowers have a massive debt problem. And austerity or tariffs aren't a long-term option when your country has 130% debt to GDP like the US, or 290% like China. Implementing tariffs is like suddenly going part-time with a 100K salary, right before your 250K of credit card debt is about to roll over to a higher interest rate. Thankfully for them, and unfortunately for you, governments and central banks don't have to tighten their bootstraps. They can simply issue new currency and devalue their old debt. This is the ultimate endgame for fiat currencies. The easy way out for governments and the hard way out for citizens, especially those who don't own any hard assets. And this is ultimately what Bitcoin solves. A functional currency and store of value that isn't trapped in a trade war or a fiat death spiral.
Now, why? Now you're going to start seeing why. I mean, we could go all day and say Bitcoin's going to zero, whatever you want to say. Then go for gold. Like, think about this. Listen, now we're going to listen to Warren Buffett. Okay. The neutral course of government is to make currency worth less over time. They are purposely making the fiat currency worth less over time. Listen to what he's saying. Okay. This is very important. This is why I'm storing my wealth in Bitcoin and XRP. Okay. They're both deflationary. I'm not playing games with my money. This is why I store my money in insurance. Okay. That's a bottom of the risk pyramid. The first annuity was in the Roman days. Study what the wealthy do. They have insurance and they have hard assets. And what we do is we go into the markets and we follow these waves of energy. We do the opposite, right? When the public is running, we're buying. What does Warren Buffett say? Buy when there's blood in the streets. I buy when there's blood in the streets. When everybody's running from crypto right now, I am accumulating as much as I can. And when this shit blows up on the back end of this year and goes straight up, guess what I'm going to be doing? Calmly pulling profits, stuffing money into my cash value life insurance. I got a leveraged bank over here that I can use. I'll stuff more and store my wealth in Bitcoin, and then I'll keep repeating the process, buying cash generating assets. Let's finish it up with this amazing legend right here. And he's giving you a hint, guys, of what's happening and why you should be storing your money in hard assets.
And obviously, we wouldn't want to be owning anything that we thought was in a currency that was really going to hell. And that's the big thing we worry about with the United States currency. I mean,
Larry Fink told you this. That's why they're going into Bitcoin. He hinted at that. Now, Warren Buffett is saying this.
The tendency of a government to want to debase its currency over time there's no system that beats that. You can pick dictators, you can pick representatives, you can do anything, but the people, there will be a push toward weaker currencies, and of course that is, I mentioned very briefly in the annual report that the fiscal policy is what scares me in the United States, because it's made the way it is, and all the motivations are to doing a lot of things that can cause trouble with money. But that's not limited to the United States. It's all over the world, and some places it gets out of control regularly. As they know, they devalue at rates that are breathtaking, and that's continued. I mean, and people can study economics and you can have all kinds of arrangements, but in the end, if you've got people that control the currency, you can issue paper money, and you will, or you can engage in clipping currencies like they used to do centuries ago, and there will always be people. It's the nature of their job. I'm not singling them out as particularly evil or anything like that, but the natural course of government is to make the currency worth less over time, and
hence why Bitcoin is now becoming the new gold. Hence why gold is at an all-time high. So simply, okay, remember, dollar is inflationary. Every dollar you're storing in your bank is becoming less valuable. When they turn that printing machine on, the public gets excited because interest rates go down. But we buy more stuff. We buy cars and houses, and we borrow against our future self. What we do is we transmute all of our income, richest man in Babylon, into something that either creates cash flow, appreciates, is protected, or I can leverage. So every time I get paid on Wednesday and Friday from my companies, I'm either putting in something that's going to appreciate, that's going to store value, protect my insurance, that's going to create cash flow, or I can leverage. So now every month when my monthly premiums go into my insurance policy, our family bank gets bigger every month. We look at our bank every month, our insurance policies. My kids have policies. Our bank is getting bigger. Our Bitcoin bank is getting bigger every day. I buy Bitcoin every day, just a little bit every day. My XRP bank is getting bigger. Okay, so every day my bank is getting bigger on this side. My bank is getting bigger on the legacy side. I'm protected for legacy over here. And then every Wednesday and Friday, I put money into cash generating dividends that pay me cash, but I don't go buy stuff. I actually de-risk that back into Bitcoin and XRP. And then when we go parabolic on the back end of this year, I'm going to fill the buckets of the insurance, max fund those policies. And then we're going to repeat this process. It's actually pretty simple once you get into it. And you start to understand that you're working your ass off every single day, taking time away from your money and your family, and you're getting paid in someone else's debt. And if you don't transmute that into something that creates cash flow, that appreciates, compounds, or grows, you're going to become poor every single year. Imagine working harder for your company, and every single year you become poor because your government is debasing your currency. But the system can't continue. All fiat currencies have collapsed. I'm not saying the US dollar is going to collapse, but we are in a transitionary period back to an asset-backed currency. That's what's happening right now. Okay. So you should care. You should care. And you should subscribe to this channel. And you should listen to every single video I do, because I'm only going to tell you exactly what I'm doing. That's it. I will never share with you anything I'm not doing. I'm not qualified to tell you what to do. I'm damn well qualified to tell you exactly what I'm doing. And when I learn new things, I'm going to come back and teach. That's my design. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you need any support at all, okay, if you click the description of this video, you can join our Coach JV Academy, the 3T Warrior Academy. 11,300 people worldwide have been with us to get their shit together. Okay. I also have my own general agency, my own insurance firm, where we help people around cash value life insurance, bank on yourself, infinity banking concept, tax-free retirement, money for life, annuities. We can help you move old 401ks. My team is highly qualified to take your call to help you through that process. Okay. It's a free consultation. That's in the description of this video down below and my social media platform. So we love you guys. We appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, let's get your shit together. Love you.